artists, and welcome to day 33 of the epic journey. It really is epic. Day 33. My name is DaleneFM, and today we're going to be discussing merging elements. So grab yourself a cup of coffee. I'll see you at the computer.
There's no going with that. You can do what you wanna do. You can do what you wanna do.
Merging elements, sometimes referred to as skimmed edges or stolen edges, or when two of your elements are ending in the same place. I couldn't find any paintings to describe this. I think artists tend to avoid this, but I found some photographs. Here we've got the diagonal line of the deer as well as the fence ending in the same place. That's one thing that you need to avoid. Merging elements is something that you need to avoid in art. It's a no-no. It's a mistake I'm trying to point out to you. Here with the seagull and this little spit of sand here, we've got them ending in the same place there, merging, which is not a good thing either. And this was an example I found of one element directly behind the other, making this chappie look like he's wearing a hat. As I said, I couldn't find any paintings to describe this, so I've actually got some paintings here that could have been problematic, but the artist has obviously sorted out the problem, and we're going to have a look and see. In this little painting here, this artist has left a gap in the trees so that his focal point here is quite visible. Now you might find that in reality these trees went around behind her, but he decided to leave them out or possibly move them to make sure that his focal point was not interfered with and that she was nicely framed by the sky around her. This one over here is actually one that I've simulated. Now that's what the painting actually looks like, and this could also be a situation where the artist may have changed it. Now had the subject been in that position, for example, we would have had this sort of thing happening where we have one element behind her making her look like she's wearing a little hat. So it's quite possible that the artist would have done that to fix the problem. I'm not sure. I just like I say, I simulated this to make it look as if it was a bad composition. Landscapes like this, there's no elements on this particular landscape, but landscapes like this could possibly contain an element that could create a problem. For example, you could have a little house sitting over here, pathway, etc., and the roof of the house merges with the landscape behind it. Now that is a problem. Now what an artist could do to fix that would be to place the house, say, there. You just want to break the line rather than have them merging in the same place. You'd either have it higher than the land behind it or lower than the land behind it, but not ending in the same place. Now this is also an example of what could have been a merging element, although this isn't, but if that deer there, for example, was inside the shadowed area, the artist has placed this deer in a little patch of sunlight, so the light is catching it very nicely, but had the deer been placed in the shadowed area, it would have been in shadow and therefore also considered a merging element. Now something like that there, where it's placed in shadow, is not that critical because this would not be a focal point. This area here is your focal point, so you don't want any of your main features, the focal point of your painting, to be obscured by the other. I mean, if these were paintings, for example, this would be a focal point. Your seagull would be a focal point, and it would be interfered with by the little spit of land behind it. So you would raise it up slightly to just give a little bit more water around the seagull's head, and that would solve the problem. In the case of this gentleman here wearing a hat, we would, as artists, move him one or the other side of the steeple behind him so that there's no interference of the two elements with one another. In the case of the deer, again, you would probably lower the fence to that sort of point over there. That way the deer is above the fence and the fence is not interfering with the top line of the deer. Just makes for better compositions. So in summary, what I would actually like to point out is that merging elements is one of the negatives. It's one of the things that you need to be aware of as artists. Don't allow your elements to merge one way or the other. Either way, it's a no-no. So stay away from those things. Make sure that your elements are well away from one another, in a case like that, for example. Or if you do have them, find a way, like this artist did here, to separate them so that your focal point is not interfered with in any way. Okay. I hope that helps you to understand what merging elements are and what to look out for in your compositional problems. And I will see you tomorrow in day 34. Goodbye.
That's what you want to do.